Well, it's time to get into the last best of 5 of the evening. Thanks for being here all day long. This should be a good one. It's G2 versus Genesis with the commentary, Leaf and Lawler. Take it away, guys.
Well, there it is, our final game of the day. We got to finish it off now. Genesis kind of came along the ride with us, as now they have one more match, but it's against G2 this time. I mean, they did win their first one, but can they win this one? This is, as they say, a mountain to climb.
Yeah, wow. Well played on that one. But for this team, like, G2 is so close to getting the land, not able to get it. Just need to win this match. Everything on the line for them, not having to worry about going through those playoffs in the regional championships in a couple weeks. Like, it's a big, like, breath of relief if they can just do it now. As for Genesis, if they win one game in the series, I'm pretty sure they then play selfless. Not correct on that one. Gibbs will tell me later.
He has the math. But, I mean, I think they nailed it pretty much on the head here. I mean, when you have JNAPS and Rizzo on that offense, they are crazy. We just saw them have to 2v3 against NRG, a team that to almost Braziled another top 8 team before that. That's an impressive feat on its own. And if they can just figure that out on the field, this match should be on the easier side compared to the NRG match they just played. Well, game number 1 is going to get underway as G2 Esports and Genesis finish off league play for us. G2 still looking to be able to clinch that spot in the World Finals. We'll see if Genesis can take that dream away from them. G2 is going to hold it in their control as they start an early attack, but a quick move out for Genesis. Tries to put on that early goal. Chrome will find the back of the net. A little too much of a push forward for G2. And there you have it, Genesis in the lead.
Not only a big issue, but you see, like, Rizzo and his teammate both getting involved in that one with JNAPS. 2 committing to something that only 1 needed to be there for, and it gets beat out. 1 easy touch for this team of Genesis, and they get a goal early.
Silly gooses, what are you doing? Giving a first goal to Genesis. We'll see if they can keep it up as they put another one in. Maybe it's not G2, maybe it's Genesis. These guys off to a fiery start.
Genesis moving so fast. Classic's just trying to get that around. Looks like JNAPS wanted to let that go up the wall and then play it downfield, but Classic says, I don't think so, and plays it back inside.
Well, G2's a little bit of taste of that Genesis medicine now. We'll see if they can quickly make some corrections. There might be one of them. JNAPS just a little bit short as Insol will steal away that scoring chance for G2. Kronovi with the backflip to keep that one in play. Chrome with an attempted clear, but JNAPS will send it right back the other end. Kronovi, a drop down. Classics has to save this. JNAPS can't get the read. There's Rizzo with a little bit of support from the midfield. The second touch. We'll get them a little bit more time. Kronovi moving up eagerly. We've seen them get scored on that already. Gotta watch out for that overcommitting. They do back off though instead. 1 minute in, Genesis up 2 goals already in game number 1. A misread off the wall, and Insol's gonna get a third one.
What a shot coming out from this team. Chrome doing a really good job playing it into that corner, and because of that, it bounces off the wall back inside. The defender approaching, just not able to read it in time. And then Insol with a beautiful angle on that top left.
The only thing is, like, Insol was committed to Kronovi making that mistake. Had Kronovi not made it, he would have been able to play. And that seems to be what Genesis is playing off right now. Just expecting the misses from G2. I mean, it's working. You got 3 goals up.
It's unconventional, but it's working.
But if G2 can start to fix those mistakes and just make sure that they're at least connecting with those touches like that, then they should be able to pull back a series. But 3-0 now, only a minute and a half in. G2 has quite a few goals to answer already. Rizzo's going to try to set up the first answer right here to Kronovi. Kronovi's out of the play. JNAPS up 50-50 in favor of Insol. Look at that tap just over the nose of JNAPS' Octane. He'll stay up the field though. Passes that to Kronovi, a shot stopped by Chrome. Chrome has been playing very smart. Both these series we've seen today. There's Insol just flying in hard as Rizzo sends it to the side. Another touch out into the front of the net in the slot. JNAPS connects first and puts that down the other end. Kronovi will back off for Rizzo to take a shot. On the offense here, G2 starting to create some opportunities as that Genesis defense slowly brings it back to midfield. It was starting to get scary. They may have let one in there if G2 had kept that pummeling on.
I'm glad you brought up Chrome. Chrome's been one of those players that his history in the RLCS has been kind of weird. Just the teams that he's been on, just never been on that forefront team. but you can tell like he always gets so close to just tasting that victory, and he is doing everything he can these past couple of weeks to secure it, as he played phenomenal last week and he's showing up as well this week.
Well, they found themselves in the top 6 spot, so there's that at least. We'll see if G2 though still looking for that guarantee for the top 2 spot here. Need to win the series. Genesis holding off game number 1 so far with 3 goals. Only up by 2 now with 2 minutes left. G2 finally answering one of them.
Desperately needed to get the ball rolling. Chrome unfortunately trying to play that to the side as Classics is checking back to the ball. Wouldn't be able to hit that to the side, but JNaps reads it well, puts it right back in. As you said, within 2 now, 2 minutes left on the clock.
Off the kickoff, Insol sends that one flying down into the G2 end. A miss there by Rizzo out of boost. Kronovi off to recover it and almost own goals. Not as good as his first own goal we saw back in Season 1, but would have been up there for sure.
Just let him live it down, man. Just let him live it down. He doesn't need a constant reminder, poor guy.
He was able to save it and keep that one out. G2 struggling to find any possession of the ball, though. Rizzo playing it slow in his own net, likely out of boost, allowing Kronovi and JNaps to be the aggressors on the ball. Finally, Rizzo moves in. Can't get the read off Chrome as he sends that one flying to the side. Insol keeps the momentum forward as Classics, that third touch, kind of gets beat out by that G2 defender. Insol will have to push that one forward. Now G2 boys moving up the field. Infield passing plays, we've seen those connect and succeed before. Did get stopped out by the defender on that one, but a little bit more of that is what I want to see out of G2.
As you're saying, something that they did so well at the beginning of the season were these infield pass plays, just quick touches back and forth to each other, but it seems like Genesis is starting to take care of that own. Obviously, some of these not on net, but it's a matter of maintaining that possession and just allowing them to put the pressure on as another one comes out, saved by Rizzo.
I swear Insol gets the weirdest 50-50 wins. Pinch there, kept that aggression on for Genesis. 30 seconds left in this match, and G2 still has yet to answer 2 of those goals that Genesis had scored earlier on in the game. And this might be Genesis taking game number 1 against G2 unless they can quickly create something out of this. They need to score in the next 10 seconds to give themselves any kind of viable chance to get that final goal to tie this one up. Rizzo might have a chance here. A dribble over one, but not past Insol as Kronovi tries to stuff that one in. JNaps will miss that one with 7 seconds left. Genesis will not give any more time to G2 to score those last 2 goals, and they're going to take game number 1.
Game number 1 going to Genesis with just constant pressure and capitalizing a heck of a ton on the mistakes of G2. But as we saw the game progress, I liked seeing Rizzo at the end as these guys try to put this ball down.
I love how just that final scramble for the last goal at 0 seconds becomes this prospect level gameplay.
Yeah, like nobody goes into rotations, nobody falls through. They're just like, all right, I'm going to hit it. And if you hit it next, we have a chance to keep this up. And it's exactly what you said. It's like prospect level, but probably even worse.
And there it is. Genesis taking one against G2, 3-1. G2 struggling a little bit to connect with a lot of their passes. And that's what I've said. I mean, G2 has a very, very fast play style. And a lot of it relies on the faith that your teammate's going to be there to connect with that hard pass that you crossed. A flanking style. And if one of those players misses on that, it destroys the entire speed of your team, and you have to try again. And, I mean, we saw Genesis connecting with a lot of the infield passing plays, and that's what set them up 3 goals. Now, if G2 can take that into their hands and just have the faith and connect with those balls, they may be able to take this series. But, I mean, Genesis is looking really strong, even though they've just had this giant break between their first game and this one.
Well, they mentioned it on the desk. G2, like, part of the problem is, like, you just don't see Rizzo being as involved as he was. He was always there to kind of follow up and be that kind of anchor for them where the ball, it would come off the net and he would make certain saves, or he would make sure that just that X factor would then carry all of it together. And we just haven't seen that really in the past couple of weeks. And it's been unfortunate because everything you said is so important for these guys to where those pass plays. If the person's not there to even pass it or follow it through or make sure they can keep maintaining those plays in the first place, it just falls apart. And it's a constant domino effect where, as we can tell, their play style just isn't working right now.
Well, if you're just joining in, which is the wrong thing to do, you need to be here since the beginning of the broadcast. This has been a crazy day. Week number 5 of the RLCS Season 3 for North America. G2 Esports and Genesis have our last game of the day. Game number 2, Genesis just took the first one. G2 still looking to clinch a spot in the World Championships. If they can get this win in the series off of Genesis, Genesis just looking to destroy that dream as we go into game number 2, already with an early attack. Rizzo and Crow moving up the field. Crow on the wall, slow and patient, steals it past one. Insole, slow and patient, steals it right back. As he takes that one back up the wall, forcing JNaps up high. Pass to nobody will be a hard clear for Classics. Getting the Dominus nose on that one does send that far down into the blue territory. First minute in, neither one of these teams finding any real scoring opportunity yet. Kronovi tried there, gets the boost grab, but doesn't get the ball touch he needed. Rizzo will have to move in to help him. Kronovi in the slot, and no defender is going to stop him. He just waits there.
For him to be able to be there, for one, and not get bumped out of the way, and for two, for Rizzo to be able to follow up and put it to him is unbelievable. G2 is waking up this match. The passes and the touches have been on point.
It's so weird that Genesis just let Crow sit in the slot, maybe not expecting the pass to even get that far. But it did, and they take the first goal as G2 trying to take their first win in this series as well. Now sitting up 1 point on Genesis. See if they can answer it quick. They almost do. That's going to be it. What a stop from JNaps to keep them in the lead as that shot came rocketing in from Genesis. Classics keeping the dream alive here as they stay on offense. A nice little tap at the corner of his car. Give Insole another chance to set up a play, but he doesn't really create anything useful. That'll be G2 moving the other way. Chrome quickly to the air. Can't win that one past Rizzo. Back pass from Kronovi over to JNaps, but he's going to be a little bit too far off. It will give Chrome a chance to get a touch on that one. Rizzo, the only one up, as both JNaps and Kronovi tried to back off. They were on each other's feet, and there's another one in front of the slot. JNaps needs to come in, and he does. There he is, as Kronovi just couldn't get back in front of it.
The rapid play of G2 coming in, one play after another. These guys making sure to get to the touches first, forcing this Genesis team to make saves. And because they are forced to make these plays, it draws out that defender, and then the goal coming through. You see JNaps, even with being that far behind, able to come in and get to it first.
There's almost an attempt from G2 off the kickoff. 3 minutes left. Genesis trailing behind now at this point. Only 2 goals. We could see them answer this back. G2 hasn't really given them any chance though yet. They've been doing a decent job of staying on offense, but not the best job of creating scoring opportunities. Now they find themselves stuck on defense. We'll see if they can break out as Kronovi moves in for an attack. JNaps with another touch himself. All 3 of them up here. Counterattack opportunity for Classics, but Rizzo just lands under him, kills that chance right in its tracks, and immediately G2 turn this one around at midfield.
They're throwing caution to the wind. Nobody really staying back on defense. They're sending the house on every single play. And as long as they rotate back, as long as they recognize, okay, we don't have this opportunity, goals like that are going to keep going in.
You're right. We talked about it. The faith that these touches will happen. And Kronovi had the faith that JNaps would get that touch to him. Waited for it, and there it was. In the slot once again, Kronovi in the right spot puts a 3rd goal in for G2 Esports.
Well, up by 3, G2 now going to go into this kickoff with 2 minutes left, trying to secure that land spot. All they need is a victory as G2 and Rizzo are doing what they can to get it.
All right, here they are. Genesis, you wanted a match. It's here. Rizzo with a nice touch off there. It looks like it went off the defender too, just a little bit. Couldn't get there in time. Genesis trailing by 4 goals now. G2 making this a different story than we saw in game number 1 as Genesis took that point. We may end up with a tied series, 2 minutes left. G2 doing a good job of connecting with the back of the Genesis net. Genesis trying to get their first one there. We've seen them get a couple quick kickoff goals there. In the first series you saw them play today, but none quite yet, giving a lot of opportunities. Kronovi and Rizzo split the seas there, neither one of them touching the ball. Insole's able to put that one back down the other end, get a boost grab, and give Classics a chance maybe. No Chrome. We'll try to put that one over to the center. No real play for them. 4-0 still with 1:30 left.
Well, ball gets punched up into the corner. Kronovi trying to rotate back around and get a save. As it's played back and cleared downfield into Chrome, who's waiting. Falls up for a second touch. Snuck away by Rizzo with another good play. Fortunately, it's back in the midfield.
1 minute remaining now. Kronovi with a clear. Classics try to get that one to Insole. upfield passing play. JNAPS is way off target on that one, but does get the boost at least. He'll be out of the play for a minute. We'll see if he can recover. Rizzo buys him that time to put it up. A second touch out to a teammate. Kronovi puts it right back on target off the crossbar. Insole just stopped that one. 42 seconds left now with 4 goals down. Do we see Genesis having any kind of chance of pulling this one back? Maybe, if they do that.
Well,
I mean, they had 40 seconds with 4 goals down. They got 1 in 10 seconds. Can they do 3 more?
Maybe? No, probably not. Gonna go with a big no. I mean, that's tough. I mean, you got G2 playing the way they are, and with all this pressure going back and forth, like, yeah, individual plays come out, but you're gonna need to see a lot of those individual plays pressured really tough.
Insole almost got a nice flick there to the far side to put another one in. Continuing them on their trail towards bringing this to a tied game, but now with 15 seconds left, a 4-1 lead for G2 Esports. Looks like it should still hold them off, but it's getting close now.
I mean, even still, no matter what, that's still just demoralizing to have that happen.
Double mind game. Get wrecked. Get done diddled. Right there.
Yeah, good play from Chrome, able to flick that inside. Decides to be patient. It makes the other team look like a bunch of fools. Unfortunately,
hey, I mean, that's good morale booster going into the next game.
It is. Can't argue that.
As G2 takes a point in the series. First one did go to Genesis, 3-1, but it now looks like G2 has awoken. The Beast Inside is ready to fight, and they take this one 4-2. Couple goals in that last minute there by Genesis, but that's always feeling good going to the next one. You just came off a 2-goal-in-a-row scoring chance, and now you get to go to the next game on that high.
Yeah, which is fantastic. To be able to get a couple of those goals in the last second is very beneficial for the team. Obviously, with going back and forth between these two teams, this is now when the teams try to adapt. They have to look back and be like, okay, why were we getting beat so heavily? And a lot of it did have to do with that G2 pressure. They need to find a way to respond to that, and sitting back in net is not that answer.
Well, it's the faith that came out. Yeah. And they have to intercept that, I think. I mean, you see a lot of these touches. I mean, JNAPS with that beautiful one off the backboard where he got it out to Kronovi. Kronovi sat in a couple times in the slot, just in the box, ready to receive a pass from his teammates. Someone needs to intercept that. If you see Kronovi doing that more than once, get him out of there, bump him. We don't see very much physical play coming up from Genesis right now. I don't think we've seen a single real demo, maybe one in this entire series so far. Genesis might need to start implementing that into their play.
Well, the other benefit, too, is like if he's sitting in the box, you easily have the ability to just leave him be there. Like, there's no reason to go by him if he's just going to sit there. He's completely cemented. He has to either do a really quick aerial to get up and make a play, or it has to be a perfect pass. I much rather rotate out, get in a position to make sure I can see that pass coming in, and then counterattack with it and really punish him for being there. That's what I would do.
That's true, but we didn't see any of that, and that's something that Genesis is going to have to implement into this. We talked about the losing team coming into the next one with the upper hand. You've seen what they can do. Now make those adjustments to change it and make this this game be in your advantage.
Right.
Genesis needs to do that coming into the second one, but G2 is still looking strong. They are a force to be reckoned with, and you can't take them lightly coming into game number 3. G2 not simply again, but they need to win this series to clinch themselves that top 2 spot into the World Championships. It's just, I mean, they're going to go hard. I mean, we've seen a lot of teams today go hard when they know everything's on the line, and G2 definitely wants this series.
Well, I mean, they already got game number 1 as of right now, and I'm going to make sure Gibbs corrects me on this one later for sure. So Gibbs, pay attention.
Please correct
I'm pretty
him.
sure they're playing selfless because they got that one win. They're playing selfless in the quarterfinals. So that's something that they're looking forward to. But in this case, this is more a moment of like an I told you so moment. For them to able to come out and basically deny the fact of G2 if they win getting into LAN, like that completely changes up everything for these guys. If they can really beat them here, that totally makes that bracket later in the regional championship like a whole different monster.
Well, you then get to come into the regional finals knowing that you were able to just do that.
Confidence, huge.
We talked about Genesis. When they hit those just crazy outbursts, they can do it. They have low lows but high highs. They can take out any team in this league, and that's what's so incredible about Genesis. But we're going to see if they can do that against G2 Esports, our final game of league play in Season 3. G2
Rizzo
and Genesis are both 1-1 in this series, this best of 5. this win will set one of these teams at match point.
Well, you see Rizzo starting up early, getting involved, trying to air dribble that across the sky. As you saw Insol do it to them earlier. And now playing a little bit more aggressive as this ball kind of sent out the feelers already. Back and forth, no real possession maintained. This Classic goes for a touch, gets another one, able to pinch it. Cronovia reads it, playing that back down into the other side, gets in front of it. Now he's going to pass it off to his team as JNaps approaches.
Yeah, no one really getting anything off the bat here. I mean, G2 looking like they're starting to formulate some stuff, but Genesis knows that everything's on the line here. They really need to break up that offense. Again, we've seen them be a little bit too comfortable, G2 on the offense. Genesis needs to split this up. There's Rizzo with a shot. Classics very awkwardly saving that one. Chrome was there to help clean up the mess. Rizzo expecting that touch out front, and that's the speed I talk about. Look at that faith he had that would go to his car. Did get stopped by the defense zone. Cronovia will have to try again from his own end. Rizzo with a miss. We'll set up Chrome with a goal. A simple whip there by G2 is going to put Genesis in the lead by 1 goal.
G2 reverting back to game number 1. A lot of poor decision-making and just patience where they're hesitating when they shouldn't be. Ball in the corner, just who should take it. Okay, I'm going to let Cronovia sweep in and move it up. And by that time, the issue that creates is that allows this rest of this Genesis team to then get in a position to read it. Immediately contested, put across the middle, a missed touch, and then they challenge it and get a goal.
Rizzo trying for that upside down shot. He gets the pass to Cronovia, who follows through, as I said before, with faith to get that goal.
That flick to Cronovia and then that angle. Oh my goodness. You want to know why this team statistically is number 2 in pretty much every category on offense?
Because they're
plays
good.
like that. Well, yeah, and because they're good. Well, thanks, Leaf.
Thanks, Leaf.
Gotta bring it down to elementary level.
I got you,
good.
fam. There's a second one. Look
Rizzo
at that
scoring that goal because he's good. Get out of here, man.
Well, you're not wrong.
Fantastic pass play from JNaps to Rizzo. 1-2 punch. You're ridiculous.
You're so mean. You're so mean to me sometimes.
It's only because I love you.
G2. Oh.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. That's fair. I'll give him that one. G2 now leading 2-1 in game number 3 by quite some force there. 2 goals very, very quickly. We'll see, though, Genesis can answer this one back. I'm liking the way G2's looking in this game. Those are the goals we love to see, and that's why they're so exciting to watch. Genesis has to be careful now. Good passing plays coming up from Genesis. A follow-up. They're just going to give G2 right back what they saw a minute ago.
Not just good, but great. One pass after another. Using that kind of triangle shape to make sure that they maintain, because even if those 50-50s don't go in their favor, that teammate is still there to make the contest. Everybody getting involved and putting in a goal, working out. Oh my goodness, Genesis does not want to go home.
Genesis has been on fire today. I'm not going to lie. They are looking hot, and I know they're feeling good right now. Pulling those plays out that they saw G2 just pull a minute ago. Infield passing plays themselves to tie this one right back up. 2.5 minutes remaining in game number 3. One of these teams looking to set themselves at match point, and I know G2 looking for it the most as they can clinch themselves a spot into the World Championships. See if Genesis can ruin that dream as they try to get another attack here. Cronovia moving upfield, expecting that ball to keep going that way. Had the right idea, but it didn't go exactly where he thought it would. He'll back off. So JNaps as a double tap there from Classics to Insol comes off at the midfield. Chrome with the follow-up. Rizzo will try to meet this one in the air as Cronovia gives him support, but good spread out rotation from Genesis will intercept any kind of offense that G2 was looking to put together there. Spark quickly put out as they hold off at midfield pretty well right now against G2. Both these teams looking for that opportunity to move upfield and get that forward cherry-picking passing play. Unless Classic's going to dribble, not with the dominance you're not, as he gets stopped out. Pass in front, Insol waits patiently, smart from him. Genesis, no real play there, an intercept by Cronovia. This could be the chance they needed. Good stop by Insol. Again, both these teams looking for that one play, but both teams doing very good at stopping every single one of those opportunities.
Exactly, just not able to find it as Rizzo contests a pass to Cronovia. Saved by Insol coming up clutch yet again, and then the demo to bring it downfield. What is Insol gonna do? Is he gonna carry it? He's gonna get it. He gets the dunk. What the heck was that, Insol?
I'm gonna call that one a little mini Rocket League Jesus. Look at that one. Oh, that's so good. It's not as high as he had gotten it, but it was still pretty much the same thing. A dunk at the end. Incredible shot after that demo. We talked about the demos being important for Genesis, and there you have it. It resulted in a goal.
Fantastic plays. Just everybody doing their part on this team, but G2 trying to send it back. Insol with a good pinch off that back. This ball settles in the middle. Who's first to get to it? It's going to be JNAPS. Oh, no. Yes!
What? No! Just a miss there. I love these passing plays coming up from both teams right now. Right from an air dribble dunk from Insol to a beautiful team passing play from G2. Both these teams looking to impress for our final game of league play right now. We have Genesis in the lead with 30 seconds left. G2 looking to quickly turn this around. This is their chance if JNAPS can keep control. He gets it past one but loses control. The Classics, a dunk from Kronovi isn't going to go past him either. Classics on fire with this ball right now. Gets it past all three. Gets it to his teammate Chrome, but they aren't able to find the back of the net. A little bit of an inaccurate shot. Will allow G2 one final chance to throw that the other way. Look, all three aggressing right now. They know they have to put absolutely everything into this. With a lost possession there, it may be too little, too late. Unless they can do it here. JNAPS, the pass to a teammate who's a little bit too far forward. And Genesis is going to take game number 3, putting themselves at match point against G2. G2 looking like they might lose this clinch.
Genesis trying to do their best to kill the dreams of G2. And
that's
boy,
some
are they
good
doing
motivation.
It. That is unbelievable presence from both of these teams to go back and forth, especially after the pass plays and the team plays that we're seeing, to be able to go back downfield and then one play after another score again. That just shows the resilience of a team. It is unbelievable.
Yeah, again, we actually saw a point there where both teams were having difficulty really creating up any kind of offense because they knew each of these teams was starting to create incredible passing plays. Right. They had to set up their defense. Okay, we have to intercept this, but it's hard to really move back on an offense like that. You can't commit someone to upfield and get ready for a cherry pick passing play if you have to commit everyone to defense because you know that your opponents are doing the exact same thing.
Well, the way that they're doing it, like you saw in that Genesis play, as soon as the ball was contested, immediately after his teammate, while moving upfield, gets the demo, completely takes it out. Now it's a 2-on-1 in that decision because the guy who originally committed to the shot is still having to rotate back. They bring it downfield, and then it doesn't matter because Insol's going to dunk it. But besides that, the way that they transition upfield, we talked so many times, okay, you need an infield pass player, you got to be able to use your teammate to pass it out while you're trying to clear it against a team that's this aggressive on offense. No, let's just remove them completely and then dribble it upfield. Okay.
Well, hopefully this next game is going to be just as exciting. That was intense. Honestly, there were a lot of great plays coming up from that last game. G2 Esports, Genesis, looking to make this end of day absolutely incredible, and they're doing exactly that. Genesis now sits 2-1 up against G2. In our final game of league play, will Genesis be able to take this one away right now and just get themselves that pride win there? They have gotten themselves into the regional finals. G2 is looking, though, to get themselves a guaranteed spot to that land. Genesis on a really good spot to destroy that dream, unless G2 can answer back here in this game with a win.
What?
But a bounce off of Rizzo. Insol's going to get credit for a goal there as Genesis gets the first.
Was not ready for this next touch. Insol just screams that at Rizzo. Unfortunate own goal technically, but Insol, the presence of mind to shoot it at that spot.
I'm imagining someone actually screaming the ball at you. Just Fuzro, no!
Wrong game, buddy. Wrong game.
I wish that would work. I might actually be good at Rocket League then. 1 minute passing by, and Genesis takes the first goal. G2 looking to get answer themselves, but Chrome being a bully almost gets Kronovi and Rizzo out of the way, but Kronovi is going to be able to recover. Is it enough? In time, it is. Rizzo gets back as Chrome takes a shot. Genesis putting on a lot of pressure here, forcing G2 to really rethink what they're doing on the field. A long shot from Kronovi. A follow-up by himself again. JNAPS just tries to keep some pressure, forcing Classics into the air, making him run out of boost. We'll see if they can turn this around. all three Genesis at the midfield. JNaps tried to create an attack, but he knew he wasn't able to follow that one up and will back off instead. You can see them, all three of G2 move up to the spot. We're like, okay, we're ready to attack. The second they lose possession, though, they back off quickly and hide back to their hole in their own end. And then try once again, a shot. All three defenders in a rough spot, and Kronovi gonna capitalize, all tied up.
Unfortunately, G2 sniffs out what this Genesis team is doing. Big clears and then crashing. If it doesn't work, they all rotate back into net. So what do? They demo one, so the reset has to happen. They then send two up on the wall and apply a shot of pressure. And then when all three are in that weird position, committing to the save, easy follow-up and a goal.
3 minutes left, we're all tied up. Good pass there from JNaps. Unfortunately for him, it was stopped out by Classics. Kronovi tries to reset up another one, a shot from Rizzo. Those are the shots I love to see. You feed the ball to Rizzo. He's likely gonna put one on target. A little more of that, and they should have a lead here, but Genesis trying to turn it around. Attempted clear from Rizzo. He will finally get it with the second try. Good stop by Kronovi as he blocks that one out. No finish, the speed starting to ramp up from G2. We talked about them being a fast team. We're starting to see it now. They came out a little bit too late. The engines are revved, and here they go. Kronovi to Rizzo. A passing play as Rizzo upfield, ready to just push that one into the Genesis net.
Kronovi already up on the wall after that, but then Rizzo having the awareness to move downfield and get in a position to flick that over to put power past that defense. Oh my goodness, G2.
You know why he got that goal? That's because he's so good.
Get out of here, man.
Rizzo.
I'm so done with you.
Rizzo. Oh, I love it when he's on offense. So pretty to watch, and there it is, a lead for G2 Esports. But they are trailing in the series overall. Genesis just needs 2 more goals to get themselves a win here in the whole series. We'll see if they do that. If G2 can hold off on this lead, they might be able to, the way they're starting to play. Good passing plays infield. Another one shot on net, forcing Chroma and Insole to stop that one. Defense was a little bit off there, but they do finally get a clear. Genesis, can they set up a play is the next question. Likely not, as they didn't have enough pressure. Kronovi short of the dunk on that one. We'll have the ball head back down into their own end. G2 another attempt to move out. Nice bounce off the wall, but Insole will collect that one. Off the ground, Kronovi needs to get in the way. He does. Classics had a shot at the net there. Minute 42 left. G2 only sitting up by 1. Goal could come out for Genesis at any point as they are putting on attacks. But G2 still looking pretty strong on the field. Holding their composure, getting a couple clears in midfield and just making sure that they keep someone there to block any more attempts from Genesis.
They're starting to play a little bit more passive as these touches aren't finding clears. Luckily for them, they're able to break it back downfield. That's really where their aggression really pays off. As Kronovi trying to dunk that in, saved out by Chrome, but another shot from Rizzo gets the dunk.
These guys on offense are so scary, man. You think you have the save, and then all of a sudden another G2 member just suddenly flies into your face. Kronovi's so close to squeezing that one through. And as you said, another one almost put in by Rizzo as G2 tries to get at least one more goal, but they're playing smart. JNaps waiting back, seeing Chrome and Classics move upfield. There's Insole with a shot attempt. He puts it on, not just an attempt, a success, as they tie this one up with 41 seconds left.
Kronovi did a really good job of hesitating on that dribble from Classics to get the 50-50, but it bounces directly in that wall. Not able to get that next touch out is that defender on G2, and because of that, it bounces straight back, and then Classics with that beautiful angle to tie it back up.
All tied up 2-2. Genesis just needs one more goal if we want to take away this chance for G2 to clinch that spot into the Worlds. Both these guys getting into the regionals, but sure, G2 doesn't want to have to fight any more than they need to. One final fight here. We'll see if they can get it. One goal for them. Put themselves up to a match point themselves into game number 5. Miss from Rizzo. Chrome will have a chance to set something up. Looking for a boost in demo. He gets at least one of those two things, but wasn't enough for his teammates to get a play started up. G2, one final chance. They might have a breakout opportunity here. Rizzo has to play it careful. He might just let this one die. Oh, Kronovi gets possession. There's JNaps. He sees that he gets it and moves up a little bit, but wasn't quick enough, and we will hit an overtime. Genesis, if they score one goal, then they're going to take this series. G2 needs one to bring this to a game 5.
Do or die moment here for G2, just trying to get their way at the LAN. As Genesis plays the spoiler and doing it well with all this pressure. Back and forth we go yet again as G2 tries to maintain possession and get rid of those famous pass plays we've been seeing them do all season long.
JKnapp's on the wall, a miss there will force Kronovi to stop that one at midfield. He's going to move in hard, but ready for the boost grab. He misses it. Rizzo, though, does manage to get the ball into the orange end there. Genesis forced to make a hard clear. Can they get a play? They might be able to. Chrome is up for a shot. Defender can't get it. And they take away G2's chance at clinching a world position, forcing them to play like them in the regionals.
We've been talking about Genesis showing up when it matters. Last week, clinching a very important game. This week, coming in, winning both of their matches, one of them being against G2. A huge upset and fantastic play for them all around. That has got to feel amazing.
If you guys didn't know, Kronovi has a bit of a legend behind his name. Being one of those top players since the beginning, this is, at any team he puts together, is the team to beat. And Genesis just did exactly that. And I bet you they are feeling happy right now about that win, stealing the dreams away, but it's not over yet. That was our last game, of course, in league play, but it's not the last games in the RLCS that you'll see. Well, I mean for NA, because we have EU tomorrow.
Fantastic.
That's going to be exciting.
Right, where we get to see more ridiculous like scenarios for tiebreakers and whatnot, but still, Genesis doing a fantastic job going in hot. We talk about the perfect time to do it. Obviously, you want to clutch LAN, but the ability for these guys to come in before hit this high, they hit mid-season mayhem, took that, and then to come in and just win back-to-back-to-back games where they really matter and put themselves in a position to go on to get into the LAN. Like top 4, I'm afraid to play these guys in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be afraid to play these guys at all.
I mean, in general, I'm talking as another team. Obviously, I'll never be on a team in league play.
He's right.
But talking in their position, in their shoes, Leaf, or in their wheels if you want to be like that. All right?
All right, well, they have great wheels and shoes, I'm sure, too, but I'm sure Gibbs is doing some math over there to see what the final results are for league play. Guys, take it away.
Thank you, Leaf and Lawler. And congrats to G2 getting the victory there for G2. And congrats to Tellier. They get the number 2 spot, I believe.
Yes.
They get the number 2 spot, which means they're going to the World Championships. Tellier.
Turtle.
I didn't think I'd say that before the day began.
So I bet Turtle is calling Matt's mom right now.
Yep.
So excited to share the news that
I cannot believe
Atelier
it.
is going to the World Championships. Coming into today, they were the least likely out of the 4 reasonable results to make it. And they even lost to Denial to start the day, but they still get the spot.
It's crazy.
Because G2 goes 0-2.
Yeah.
After starting 4-0, they lost 3 straight series. And we go into the highlights here, and Genesis showing up again. This is the perfect time for them. They have to play Selfless now in the quarterfinals, and I don't want to be playing this Genesis squad right now.
Yeah, Insol, what did he eat for breakfast today? First of all, because he was absolutely insane in this series. Some of those goals, like the one to tie it up in the final seconds of this last game, they were incredible. He scored half the team's goal with 7 goals out of 14 total. And then Chrome also stepping up big. He had that overtime goal in the final game and also scored 6 goals himself. So this Genesis squad, I don't know what to think about them.
Chrome had a fantastic week last week, then has another fantastic week this week. Like, he's getting overshadowed a bit by Insol, but Chrome came up big. He got the overtime winner to seal G2's dreams of a world championship, at least for this week.
Yeah.
It's not happening. And G2, like, you could tell they were mad. 2 of them left before the goal replay even finished. They've had so many chances. They've had 3 chances so far. They have a 4th chance in 2 weeks to make the World Championships. And honestly, if they don't make it, that's one of the biggest collapses ever. Probably second only to G2 of last season, not even making playoffs after winning the World Championships.
A lot of pressure on them.
Yeah, I want to give a lot of credit to Genesis, by the way, for taking out G2, right? A team that came out and won their first match of the day, and then having to wait all that time, facing off against G2 in that final match, and able to take them out. What do you guys think as far as from Genesis' perspective? The win over G2, and now they're going into the regional championships. They've got to be feeling great.
They have to be feeling great because they also beat the number 1 seed that we have right now, of course. So Genesis, honestly, one of the favorites to win playoffs, possibly. They have to do a lot more work, but they've shown a lot of results these past 2 weeks. Probably the hottest team going in right now. So anything can happen, and it's North America. It's been happening.
It must have been midseason mayhem,
That's
right?
true.
Like after that, they just started to go insane. But I agree. But I don't know what to think about them. Again, I'm not bought. I haven't bought it.
Yeah.
Because Insolence, a lot of their play hinged on Insolence's showing up. Like he played out of his mind. Can he do that week in and week out?
And Classics too, extremely quiet in both series once again. He makes teams that are successful, but he's always very quiet, and I wonder how long that trend can continue. Chrome, though, had to show up big too. Chrome and Insolences both had to show up huge. And again, like as you say, do they have to show up huge again next week in order to win, or 2 weeks from now to win? It's a lot of questions, a lot to be decided, but a lot of fun too.
It's going to get more and more exciting as regional championships is next for North America, and then of course the World Championships. Congrats to Genesis taking out G2, but it's time to talk about and announce your Old Spice Player of the Week. Don't smell yourself short. This guy didn't smell himself short. He's also excellent at drawing little Twitter birds on signs. Who am I talking about?
The two-time Old Spice Player of the Week
The only one to get that award. He participated in 16 of the 20 goals that NRG scored. He can also make really fancy signs.
He's an artist.
Yes.
He is an artist. 10 saves as well. That's not a bad number either. He's been going ham all season long. I'm really excited for him because this squad, a back-to-back World Championship appearances, not really that successful, but once again, they're in a spot to go back and try and solve some of those demons. With a new player with Garrett G, obviously, taking over the Sad Junior role, and it seems like it's working really well for them. This is the first time ever that NRG has come out of league play being the #1 seed. They've always won the tournament, but they've never had the #1 seed going into it, so they must be feeling really great.
Yeah, and Jacob, he's going to finish #2 in goals or #3 in goals and top of the leaderboard for assists.
Yep.
So Jacob has not only had an incredible performance this week, getting the Old Spice Player of the Week, but he's just had a season-long, just stellar performance.
And there's the artwork.
The artwork, I mean, he could probably sell that on eBay alone for $300,000, and he's probably gone up at least 250 followers.
Do you think he erased that already, though? It's a whiteboard.
I hope he's framed it.
He should frame it. Well, if they win Worlds, he should frame it, but we're not there yet.
Jacob, just phenomenal play, not only today, but throughout the entire season. Great interview as well. Very classy guy. If you end up making the trip to LAN, definitely say hi to him. Great guy. Field any conversation. We'll have to find his hat. But otherwise, guys, other impressions on the day, I feel like maybe even talk about North America versus Europe. Now that we're seeing all these, North America's played out. Results are in. We've seen all these matches. How do you think any of these teams, how are they going to fare against these European teams?
I'm scared.
Me too.
I'm not going to lie. I thought we had two hopes, NRG and G2, for when they play against Europe, where they could contest at least. Not necessarily win, but they can play with them. Honestly, from how G2's played 3 series in a row, 3 losses, I only put NRG right now in that spot of trying to contend with Europe. Atelier could surprise.
Yeah,
it's very possible.
They might be able to, but again, Turtle, arguably, I think the Orbit squad that he had last year was even better than Atelier this year, and they also struggled against Europe. And then NRG, I mean, I don't even want to start to talk about their history against European teams, coming in
0-4
as the 0-4 #1 seed from North America, losing to the 4 seed from Europe both times. So it's going to be a battle. But NRG, like you're saying, they have impressed. They look much better, especially Jacob playing out of his mind. Garrett, a solid player, better than Sad Junior. It's safe to say that. So they're a better team. But as far as Europe goes, they are frighteningly good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I still am not bought into NA being able to really challenge the best in Europe, but we might be surprised.
Then we'll be triply surprised by the OCE team that comes out. Takes everyone
just wins Worlds, Of course. That's how it's going to work.
Quick shout out to that twitch.tv
Cheeseman,
/ Throwdown TV. Top 2 teams from that competition advanced to Worlds, which is a first for RLCS, having 3 different regions participating in the World Championships, North America, Europe, and OCE. But moving the conversation back over to North America, especially looking forward to 2 weeks from now, which will be our next competition for these North American teams. We have NRG. They're the top spot. We have Atelier. They're the 2nd seed. They're going to have buys in that first round. Now, we talked about Genesis as one of the other 4 teams involved. What about G2? They come into today, unfortunate circumstances against NRG in that first game, Kronovi with some connection issues or what have you. What does G2 need to turn around? It's a good team, a lot of talent, but they didn't get their top 2 seed that they were looking for, and now they have to fight through these regional championships.
These past 2 weeks, they've had 4 series. The only team they beat was Set to Destroy. And it wasn't convincing at all. It went 5 games.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of issues to figure out, like, over these 2 weeks. It's going to take a lot of practice. They have to figure out why they're starting to collapse, and I think a lot of it has to do with how their rotational play seems to have changed. It seems like Rizzo's hanging back. I wanted to see him move forward a little bit more, let Crow hang back a little bit more, because Crow's extremely good on the defensive end. I think he always likes to be on the offensive end, and sometimes that plagues his teams.
Yeah, we saw flashes of brilliance from G2, especially with their passing plays, which early in the season, that's what separated them from most of the North American teams, is their passing plays were just beautiful. They were using each other and then putting shots in on net. But today, like you're saying, the rotations, but especially the defense, we saw some pretty bad defensive plays from G2. Multiple players going at the ball, completely whiffing. It was a rough day for G2, a rough couple of weeks for G2, but they still can bounce back in the regional championship. But I'm worried about them right now.
Yeah, I think they have the talent to make it happen. They just got to figure it out on their own time. Thankfully, they have a little bit of a break here to prepare for the regional championships. But let's take a look at the final standings. North American League play is done. It's over. Write this in stone. There's no more changes that are going to happen. Here you go. Your 1 through 8 spots from North American League play for RLCS Season 3.
That's rough for Take 3. Getting 3 wins, you expect that to be enough to make playoffs. Lose out on the tiebreak to Denial, because Denial beat them, I believe it was all the way back in week 1. So Take 3 just missing out on playoffs and a 3-4 record. And then just 4-3, 4-3, 4-3, 4-3. A 4-way tie for second place.
Incredible.
And Atelier takes it.
Yeah, that was, if you're Atelier going into today, you probably didn't even imagine that you were going to finish top 2. Especially with the position G2 was in.
Yeah, they figured that we probably have to go 2-0. And once you lose to Denial, they're like, well, top 2 is probably out of our hands. Let's just hope for the 1. But 4-way tie for second, and they win all the tiebreaks out. And that's why every individual game matters. Every head-to-head matters. That's why, like, you can't just throw a game. Like, you're down 0-2. You really want to battle back to get that win percentage tiebreaker on your side.
And then the interesting thing you said about Selfless, too. How close were they?
Yeah, extremely close. Since Genesis won that series, they got 5 of their 6 like dice rolls and coin flips right. The only one they missed was Take 3. They had to go 3-2 versus Atelier.
Right.
So the only dice roll that they missed, they got everything else correct. Just missing
And then
out.
based on that result too, Atelier getting the second seed.
Yep.
Because if that had happened, then Atelier is not
It could
even
have
in
been
top
so
2.
different.
Oh man, that's Rocket League Championship Series for you. Wouldn't have it any other way. But since we have our standings, we have our bracket, we have our seeds for the regional championships. This will take place 2 weeks from now. Don't forget. We have a little weekend off. Go to the beach or something. But then come back to twitch.tv/Rocket League and watch this.
Genesis versus Selfless. If Genesis wins, they get to play Energy once again, who they just beat last week.
Yep.
And then G2 versus Denial. I believe that's a Kronovi versus Sad Jr. to see who goes to the World Championships. You know Sad's going to want to win that game. And Denial, as a whole, Team Canada trying to come out and win that, while G2 losing 3 in a row. They've had 3 chances. All they had to do was win one of those series to make the World Championships. They have a 4th chance. And if they can win that series, they will make World Champions. If not, losing 4 chances would be awful.
And the pressure is on.
Yeah.
The pressure is on because Kronovi failing to make the playoffs last season, now falling short time and time again for getting that World Championship bid. You know that they're going to feel it in that series versus Denial in 2 weeks. So everyone should mark their calendars because that's going to be fun to watch.
And plus, it's best of 7 guys, so 4 wins. That's all you need to go to the World Championships. And then, of course, we play out the entire bracket because we're getting seeds to see who plays Europe, who plays OCE, like in that first round, because the NA4 seed will have to play in the first round while the NA1 seed actually gets a bye.
Yep.
So that is also extremely important as well.
And it's as classic as you get, single elimination, best of 7. That's what we love to see in Rocket League a lot of the times as well. So again, 2 weeks from now, that's regional championships. Let's take a look at the prize pool. Here's what these guys are playing for. Aside from seeds, aside from a spot in the World Championships, a fair amount of money on the line.
A big chunk of change, $10K. And this is on top of what they make for league play, on top of what they've made for midseason mayhem. So it's really adding up. $10K is nothing to bat an eye at.
And then, of course, if you make top 4, you're going to Worlds and you're making another $5K at least, even if you drop out right away. So lots of money on the line. Of course, all these teams, they want to get the best seed possible to put them in the best possible spot to actually do well at Worlds. Because again, NA, doesn't have a great track record so far, besides probably Kronovi. He's the only one left that's actually has a good track record versus Europe. So they want to be like, I would rather play an EU4 seed than maybe a 1 seed. So big games.
Can't wait for that to happen. Regional championships for North America in a couple weeks. But we got to figure out what's going to be happening on that Sunday because it's the European Regional Championships, and that's all going to play out tomorrow. Congrats. Twitch.tv/Rocket League right here. You can just keep the stream on, hang out in the Twitch chat. I might go say hi in the Twitch chat a little bit later tonight, see if anyone's still there. But here is the rundown for tomorrow. And if there's a theme we saw today, all the 4-3s, we got a lot of 4-1s in Europe.
Games 3 through 5, just 4-1 versus 4-1. Top 2 was very likely decided there, but if NA has anything to say about it, it's going to be madness. So who knows, but it's going to be a lot of fun to watch these guys battle out. And once again, like Europe, I would say is even more of a contention where you do not want to be 3 through 6 at all. I would say probably Denial is a little bit weaker in NA compared to a Penta back in Europe. So very important games tomorrow.
Yeah, right now, Maka could definitely play that spoiler position, getting a lower seed, taking up a higher seed. Those 5 teams, especially if the leftovers end up clinching, which arguably they're not one of the stronger teams. They have just been having miraculous performances on the day. We might see some pretty insane upsets and a really good team from Europe missing out on the World Championship.
It's all tomorrow, not too far away from now. Again, 9 a.m. Pacific, twitch.tv/Rocket League. Speaking of early in the morning, 10 a.m. Pacific on Wednesdays, we have something else going on called RLCS Overtime. More analysis and in-depth discussion on the Rocket League Championship Series.
There's a lot to recap. There's a lot to talk about because now we can talk about the entire tournament, previews of matchups, see how they fared back in week 1, maybe analyze some of those games. So it should be a lot of fun these next 2 weeks heading into the playoffs.
And we've also been keeping track of all the casters' picks. We've been picking them behind the scenes. You guys actually got to see them today on screen, which was really cool. But on our overtime, we're going to recap all of that action, and I think we're actually going to award some trophies.
I hear there's prizes. I hear there's a first place and a last place prize. But
so it's
honestly, I went for first today. Didn't work out. Now I'm just going to hope I survive and not get last.
Yeah, my picks didn't go that great either.
Neither did mine. I don't think anyone's did.
Yeah, it is what it is. But that being said, if you thought we were done with Rocket League today, you're wrong. There's more Rocket League today, guys. Where? Twitch.tv/ThrowdownTV. When? About 7 minutes from now. So you can literally switch over, or keep this one on, keep hanging out. But go on over to twitch.tv/ThrowdownTV, and it's the OCE region. They're playing all their league play out, and we're pulling the top 2 from that who will advance to Worlds.
Yes, it is the final week of league play. The top 4 go to playoffs there to compete, actually like at a LAN for themselves. And that's later on next month. And then the top 2 from that will come to the World Championships and try and play spoiler as the underdog region. So it should be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it'll be a preview of those top teams from Oceania. And honestly, just getting to know those guys beforehand is a lot of fun. Watching them play. It'll be exciting to see them take on a North American and a European team. And then hopefully we'll be able to get Yummy Cheeseman out there on the desk talking to us, educating us about all those OCE players. So yeah, make sure to check them out. It's always fun watching Rocket League in all the regions.
Yeah, it's literally going live right when we're getting off the air. So definitely check that out. One last thing to mention that's incredibly important. The World Championships have been announced for Los Angeles. It's going to be taking place at the Wiltern, June 2nd through the 4th, and you can get your tickets now. So go do it, rlcs.gg. I know UFX, Ultimate Fan Experience, is sold out, but still tickets available, so definitely take advantage of that.
It'll sell out. It's sold out every year.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about going, you might as well just buy a ticket. And then when you go, it's an awesome time because all the pros are hanging around. We're hanging out just all over the place. So it's a good chance to just interact with the Rocket League community in person, and it's such a fun time. Like even watching the games is a treat, but just getting to hang out with everybody that you play with online is it's special.
So yeah, we love to just go out like before the stream, and then after the stream, just hang out with the fans, like talk with them, take pictures and all that stuff. So it's a lot of fun.
Drink some brisk,
Yeah, of course.
Hang out. That's what we do. That being said, that's going to finish up our broadcast today. Thanks for watching. If you've been here all day, you're awesome. Let us know who you are in the Twitch chat. Guys, anything else to say before we go?
Long day, but so much fun to watch. Lots of great Rocket League, and honestly, still a lot of questions to be answered. It's been a lot of fun. We've got 2 World Championship teams. We're going to get 2 more in 2 weeks, so Really excited.
I guess I just got 2 things. One, my buddy Ryan's watching, so hey Ryan, glad you got to watch. And then also congratulations to my girlfriend. She's going to be graduating with a master's degree, and I'm going to go back to Michigan to watch her graduation. So,
A master's in physics in Rocket League.
Of course.
that's what I have.
For in the future.
Unofficial degree.
All right, that's going to wrap it up. Thanks, guys. Axel Toss here, Gibbs, James Bond. On behalf of everyone here, thank you so much for watching. Remember to tune in tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific as we finish up European League play for the Rocket League Championship Series. See you then.